for joining even at this late hour. Of course, those of you who watch the recording, thank you for that as well. And if you're thinking about closing your trade license or pausing it, now is the perfect time. I will explain why if you stick with me for the next 5 minutes. I will also explain how to do that and what you should not forget. So, if you have a trade license in the Czech Republic, given that it's not directly related to your residence permit, because if you have, for example, a business residence permit and you want to cancel the trade license, it will kind of automatically cancel your residence permit as well. So be careful with that. But if your trade license is not related to your residence permit, either you are an EU citizen, or you have an employee card and you have a trade license on top of that, or if you have a student visa or a family reunification visa, residence permit, and you have a trade license on top of that, and now you're thinking about closing it because you're not making enough money, or just your plans changed, or you want to move outside of the Czech Republic for some time, or whatever reasons you might have, you can cancel or pause the trade license, and now is the perfect time for that. Now, I mean beginning of December, end of November, beginning of December. And why is that? Is because if your trade license, generally speaking, if your trade license is active even for 1 day next year, so you close it, let's say 1st of January, everything will be closed. So let's say 2nd of January, you go to a trade license, you close the trade license. Technically, you should still do your taxes for that year in 2025. So that's, of course, kind of like stupid because you had the trade license only open for like 2 days or even 2 weeks or 1 month or whatever, and you would still need to do taxes next year. You would need to keep it in your head. You would need to hire an accountant to do that, all that. So if you're thinking about canceling or pausing the trade license, do it now before the end of the year, because you will do your taxes in March next year, 2024, and you're good. You can forget about it, and that's it. If you close the trade license next year, you will still need to do taxes in 2025. So that would be a bit more work for you and a bit more like to keep in your mind. The difference between canceling the trade license and pausing it is you can choose what you want to do. Of course, if you have a limited residence permit or limited visa, so your visa expires in 2 years or something like that, or your residence permit expires in 2 years, then the trade license generally has the same validity as that visa or residence permit. So if you have an employee card and it expires January 2025, your trade license expires in January 2025 as well. So it's a bit different. But generally, you have two options. Either you cancel the trade license completely, so you close it, you don't want to work anymore, you close also your social security, healthcare, and income tax account, you do your last tax return, and you're completely good. Or you just pause the trade license for some amount of time. Generally speaking, you can pause the trade license for any amount of time. So you can do it for a month, you can do it for 3 years and 7 months, you can do it for 25 years and 1 month, or you can do it for so-called unlimited period of time, which is basically the same day of 2099. So if I decide to close the trade license today or pause it for unlimited period of time, it would be paused from today until 30th of November 2099. The difference between closing completely, canceling the trade license, and pausing the trade license is mainly in how complicated it will be for you to get the trade license again. Because if you cancel it completely, then if you ever decide to activate it again, you will need to go through the whole activation process from the beginning completely. So you will need to get a new criminal check, you will need to get a new business address, you will need to choose the trades, pay the 1,000 crowns fee. All this, you will need to go through that again. If you pause the trade license, you don't need to do any of that. You just go to the trade license, tell them, hey, I would like to activate it again from today, and they do it. So the main difference is how easy or complicated it is to reactivate the trade license. So generally speaking, if you know that you're moving out of the Czech Republic and you will not be coming back for the next couple of years, or maybe never, you don't have a plan to come back, then it might be better to cancel the trade license, because you don't risk that it will reactivate. Because if you, for example, pause it for 5 years because you expect to be gone for 5 years, and then you don't come back after 5 years, the trade license will automatically reactivate anyway. So the Social Security, Healthcare, Income Tax Office, they will be expecting payments from you. And if you forgot about it and you're still somewhere abroad and you don't know that, you don't realize that the trade license reactivated, you might start building a debt with the Social Security, Healthcare, Income Tax Office. And when you come back like 6 years later, that could be a pretty big surprise for you. So the pause of the trade license, pausing the trade license, makes sense if you know that you will need it again. It can be like, really, you just want to pause it for 5 months because you will be given birth, so you know you will not be doing anything, but as soon as you can start running the business again, then you will do that. Or if you know that you are moving away from the Czech Republic for a year, but then you will be coming back, okay, makes sense to pause it. Or maybe you had a job or like a freelance cooperation with a company, and now you're splitting ways. So for the interim period where you are without a job, then you might just pause the trade license for a couple months and then reactivate it when needed. But one thing which is important for you to remember is that when you cancel or pause the trade license, you can stop paying the Social Security and healthcare. You still should pay it for the last month when you closed it. So if I close it today, the last of November, then I should pay the fees for November, but I don't have to pay for December. But if I close the trade license tomorrow, so 1st of December, then I should also pay the Social Security and healthcare for full of November. So that's one thing to remember. Another thing to remember is that when you close or pause the trade license, it also stops these Social Security and healthcare and income tax registrations, which means that you don't have to pay anything, but you are also not covered. So if you, for example, still need to go visit a doctor, then I would recommend closing the trade license after that, because otherwise you could go to a doctor and they would tell you, yeah, but your trade license is no longer active, so your health insurance is no longer active, so we will treat you, but you have to pay out of your own pocket. So keep this all in mind. Of course, if you want someone to make it easier for you, get in touch and we'll be happy to close or pause the trade license on your behalf. We can do it all based on powers of attorney, so you don't even need to go anywhere. You just come to our office, sign 3 papers, and we just let you know when everything has been done. We send you all the kind of, not certificates, but confirmations that the trade license was canceled or paused, Social Security, healthcare, income tax, that's all been done. And yeah, you can just relax and enjoy the Christmas and the end of the year. So yeah, that was it, I believe. Maybe one more thing, how it actually works when you want to close the trade license. You need to ideally make all the visits to all the different authorities. So definitely to the trade license office. You could try doing it online or using your data box or something. It might eventually work, but the Czech authorities are not used to it yet. So definitely going there in person is the easiest and safest way to do that. So that's the trade license. Then you should go to the Social Security, Healthcare, and Income Tax Office, show them that the trade license is canceled or paused, and request them to cancel your registrations there as well to the same date as the trade license was canceled. Because the trade license office could tell you, yeah, we will report it, or you could try to report it online, and it might eventually work, but you might also end up not canceling everything, and the authorities would still expect you to pay, and that would not be good. So we always prefer going there in person, making sure that everything is closed or paused properly, because then also the Social Security, Healthcare can give you a final calculation, let's say, saying, if you owe them something or not, because you might have paid something late, you might have forgotten one payment, or you maybe have not changed the amounts you need to pay, because those change with every taxes you submit. You change the amount you have to pay. And sometimes people just forget to, because they have the automated payment set up and they forget to change the numbers, the amounts. So it can end up in you having some debts with the Social Security or healthcare tax office. That doesn't really happen too often, but it can happen as well. So when you go there in person, you also get these confirmations if you owe something or not. Plus, you get a confirmation that you got it canceled or paused. So I definitely recommend doing it in person, even though potentially some of the authorities might be done electronically, like via the data box or similar means. So that's it. Let me just see. I can see some questions in the chat. So I will just read those, answer those, and I'll go home because it's 11:30 almost. So, okay, Sergio, I'm Colombian freelancer. Can I get a digital nomad visa for Czech Republic? Make $4,000 US. What type of trader and how much do you need to make? Well, Sergio, the simple answer would be no, you cannot, because the Czech digital nomad program is not really meant for people to get. Czech Republic is a very difficult country to get a visa for, to start with. And this thing, the digital nomad visa or program, is fresh from this year, July this year, I believe. And it's only meant for 9 nationalities in the world. So out of 160 or how many there are, 9 nationalities can apply, and only one field of business, only IT. So if you're a trader, doesn't apply. If you're a marketer, doesn't apply. If you do whatever you want, whatever else, doesn't apply. You have to be in IT to qualify for the digital nomad. So unfortunately, with your nationality and the field of business, you don't qualify at this point. Maybe that will change sometime, but not now. Budhika Shrivadhana. Any update about employee card for Indian? Well, not yet. That's still pretty bad. Still the quotas. What can happen from next year? I made a video about that. So just go to my channel and check some of the previous videos. A couple of weeks ago. I don't know exactly, but a couple of weeks ago. And then the government should increase the quotas by 20,000. So now it's, I believe, 50,000 people can come through the quotas or through the programs every year, and they should increase it to 70,000. So like increase by 20%, which is pretty significant amount given that out of the 50,000, 40,000 was for Ukrainians. So effectively only 10,000 people from other countries than Ukraine could come to the Czech Republic, where the quotas are introduced. So it will be basically tripling the amount of people who can come from 10,000 to 30,000. So that should be a pretty significant increase, but I don't think it's definite yet. So we will see when it will actually happen and if it will happen. And if it happens, if it will apply to Indians, because this should mainly be focused on the Filipinos and other nationalities. We'll see if Indians and the neighboring countries who need to apply in New Delhi, if they will be included or not. So as of now, not really any positive changes in that, but hopefully from next year it will be better. So guys, thank you very much for watching, for coming here. Please like, share, and you know everything, comment and whatever. Share it with your friends if you think someone would need that, that the advice is helpful. And sleep well, and I will see you again Monday, Thursday, until the end of the world. See you guys. Bye-bye. And you have my detail picture now. You can watch my head. See ya.